Pain and sighing are characteristic of the music of the Jews from Eastern Europe. Their cultural roots stem from Germany in the Middle Ages. This tradition flourished in Eastern Europe with the waves of immigrants who settled in Poland, Russia, Lithuania, and the Baltic countries. It all begins in the cradle.
In dem Beis Hamikdash, in a winkel cheder, sitzt die Almone Bastion allein. Ihr ben Jochdel Jidelen, wiegt sie Keseder, und singt ihm zum Schlafen a Liedele schein. Und Riedeles Wiegele, schläft a Klo, weiß Zigele.
Yiddish folk songs are an expression of daily life and of yearnings for the land of Israel. The mother symbolizes the divine presence,
the divine presence
who
gently rocks the Jewish people.
Schlaf, Jeidele, schlaf. In dem Liedl, mein Kind, liegt viel Nevies, du wirst amul sein, ze seid auf der Welt, a Seucher wirst zu sein, von alle Tvies, und wirst in dem euch verdienen viel Geld. Als du wirst werden reich, Jidele, soll sich der Monen in dem Liedele Rojinkes mit Mandeln, das wird sein dein Beruf. Rojinkes mit Mandeln, schlaf, Jeidele, schlaf.
The cradle's rocking movement quickly transforms into the rocking of a youngster's body, which helps him absorb the study of Torah. And the melodies resonate throughout the life of a Jew, from the moment he is born until his last day on earth. We learn from the Talmud in the tractate Megillah that one should read the Torah with cantillation and the Mishnah with a chant. These sounds also echo in the prayers. Sacred music is at the center of Ashkenaz-Music. Its place is in the synagogue, in prayer modes, and in Torah readings. At the head of the hierarchy of the tightly knit communities of Eastern Europe stood the rabbi and the shtetl's wealthy leaders. But most were simple tradesmen, shoemakers, blacksmiths, innkeepers, and coachmen. the difficult and dismal life was sweetened by songs, which expressed, along with the hope for better days, wry humor and the desire to emulate Torah scholars.
Soll ich werden a Rov, kenn ich nicht kein Teure. Soll ich werden a Scheucher, hab ich nicht kein Scheure. Und kein Hey hab ich nicht, und kein Huber hab ich nicht. Und die Weib schilt sich, a Trumbroven bild sich. Seh ich mir a Stein, sitz ich mir unwein. Soll ich sein a Scheuchit, hab ich nicht kein Chalef. Soll ich sein a Melamed, kenn ich nicht kein Alef. Und kein Hey hab ich nicht, und kein Huber hab ich nicht. Und die Weib schilt sich, a Trumbroven bild sich. Seh ich mir a Stein, sitz ich mir unwein. Soll ich sein a Kowal, hab ich nicht kein Kowadle. Soll ich sein a Schenker, ist mein Weib a Paddle. Und kein Hey hab ich nicht, und kein Huber hab ich nicht. Und die Weib schilt sich, a Trumbroven bild sich. Seh ich mir a Stein, oi, sitz ich mir unwein.
The sigh is always accompanied by resignation to one's destiny, an acceptance of one's occupation, one's status in the community, the needs of the people, and the demands of the synagogue. The well-being of the individual is secondary to that of the community, and all without rebellion. For instance, a Jew could find himself on a stormy, rainy day, paradoxically praying for rain, simply because in the land of Israel, everything is arid at the time, and there, rain is desperately needed. Fervor brings forth spiritual awakening, and at times it happens that a Jew returns from the synagogue and a storm has wreaked havoc on his home. He has no choice other than to find comfort in the very same tune taken from the prayer of rain, by calling upon the angel of rain, who, as legend has it, is named Af-Beri.
Af-Beri. Auf morgen noch Yom Tef in der Früh. In Markt darf man laufen, Kartoffeln darf man kaufen. Und kein Geld ist alt nicht gut. Der Winter kommt zurück. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Ich heute neues gebrochen, doch was zu kochen. Und kein Geld, ist alt nicht gut. Utas, in Stiebes kalt, in Nass, azoi wie auf dem Gas. Es kommt und Pesach mit dem Seder, nicht du kein Schicht, kein Kleider und kein Geld, ist alles nicht gut. In die Weib steht mit Teute Klolles, oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. oi. Ne tun stieg kein Wesen, die Kinder gehen auf gerissen. In kein Geld, in kein Geld, es soll's mit tun.
Despite economic hardships, the family takes precedence. Every Jew wants to raise sons and daughters they can be proud of. And the daughters will slowly be initiated into the world of women, a world all their own. It is forbidden for men to listen to a woman's voice in song, but there's nothing to prohibit women to sing among themselves. Their songs deal with secular subjects, romance, gossip, ballads, humor, and, of course, love.
Yome spiel mir a Lied, alle was das Mädele will, was das Mädele will. Das Mädele will a Kleidele hoben, müssen wir nicht gehen dem Schneider sagen. Nein, Mamsche, nein, du kannst mich nicht verstehen, du weißt nicht, was ich mein. Yome, spiel mir a Lied, alle was das Mädele will, was das Mädele will. Das Mädele will a Puschichale choben, müssen wir nicht gehen dem Schister sagen. Nein, Mamsche, nein, du kannst mich nicht verstehen, du weißt nicht, was ich mein. Yome, spiel mir a Lied, alle was das Mädele will, was das Mädele will. Das Mädele will a Husendl hoben, müssen wir nicht gehen dem Schatten sagen. Ja, Mamsche, ja, du kannst mich schon verstehen, du weißt schon, was ich mein.
The wedding was a major event for the family and community. The Klezmerim, a group of musicians, provided the modest entertainment needs. At the beginning of the ceremony, they escort the bride with melodies suitable for the occasion. The parting of the daughter from members of her family. The wedding infused joyous enthusiasm, spark, and rhythm into everyday life. It provided an outlet to rejoice in life. The Klezmerim composed their own music and adapted melodies from their Gentile surroundings, giving them a Jewish touch. They set a mood of joy intermingled with sadness and hope derived from faith. Their melodies are inspired by tradition and are forged by the faith of the Jewish people, expressing longings for the land of Israel, for life itself, which is never perfect. The Klezmerim used many different musical instruments known at the time, but the violin, fiddle, and the clarinet always stood out. Entertainers often performed alongside the Klezmerim, wedding jesters who made the people laugh, and at times there were also acrobats. The difficult economic conditions forced them to perform in the streets, where they formed into groups. Entertainment troupes united and became the basis upon which the popular Yiddish theater was founded. Plays were written, and to soften the plot, songs were added.
Nehmt mich zu, ich fall auf den König. Geht mir ergens euch a Dach.
The father of the Yiddish theater was Avraham Goldfaden, who wrote close to 60 plays, among them 2 Kunyelemels, Shulamit, and The Witch.
Ihr Jiden, Bnei Rachmanim, Arut Herz ist doch bei euch.
Schmaltz is a term coined for the Yiddish theater due to its melodramatic tendencies. Mirala is sad because she is an orphan. She's about to be married, but the powers of darkness conspire against her. Her stepmother devises evil plans, using the witch for her purposes. The theater's audience consisted of simple people who craved this kind of sentimental plot. The witch attempts her final scheme to burn down the Red Pub along with the Jews who are inside the shack. But she falls victim to her own trap. This is folk theater, which reflects the daily hardships of the Jewish people. The audience, which was subject to persecutions, needed the performance which provided a catharsis. When the people left the theater and went home, they felt relief from the pressures which surrounded their lives. At home, an expression of family harmony are the Sabbath hymns. The tradition of singing Zmirot at home comes from the commandment to take delight in the Sabbath. Some women sing quietly, so their voices won't be heard, while for the children, the Zmirot are a source of inspiration, from which they draw the flavor of Jewish values. Homes like these produced great talents, some of whom were attracted to the music of the outside world, heard beyond the ghetto walls. The non-Jewish world was also interested in these talents, which caused deep conflicts. The conflict was between the old world and the new. In The Jazz Singer, the 1927 film which created a revolution in the film industry by introducing sound, a boy runs away from home and becomes a superstar on the Broadway stage, Jack Robin. The conflict reaches its climax when Jack Robin's gala performance falls on the same night as Yom Kippur, when his father, the rabbi, is dying, and there is no one to sing in his place Kol Nidre, the famous prayer of Yom Kippur Eve. Jack is torn between his career and tradition. Against the advice of his manager, he chooses to lead the prayers in the synagogue adjoining his father's home. Jack Robin is Al Jolson, a famous Jewish singer, but his voice is the voice of Yossele Rosenblatt, the greatest cantor of all time, a star in his own right. That year, millions of people, the majority of whom were not Jews, listened to Kol Nidre and cried.
Is gekommen zuvor nach Hasen, a klein Städtele, da in a Shabbos. Ui, da in a Shabbos. Seien ihm gekommen Herren, die drei schönste Ballebatten von dem Städtel. Die drei schönste Ballebatten von dem Städtel. Einer a Schneiderl, der zweiter a Kowalczykel, und der dritte a Ballegolczykel. Ruft sich op das Kowalczykel, ruft sich op das Kowalczykel.
Oi, oter gedammt, azoi wie me geht, mit dem Hammer hasetz, und mit der Klesches a Quetsch. Oi, du Sachasen, oi, 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 oter gedammt.
The synagogue is the center of cultural activity, exemplifying Judaism. It is no coincidence that the Holocaust began in Germany on Kristall Night, the night when hundreds of synagogues were smashed and burned. And the songs undergo transformation and change, just like the people.
Der Tate ist nicht gefunden. Lulinke, mein Kind, Lulinke, mein Sohn. Hat verlost uns so nah weg, wo die Welt hat noch annehmen. Lulinke, mein Kind, Lulinke, mein Sohn. Schreien so beswoien werf, Gott der Barm sich und helf. Lulinke, mein Kind, Lulinke, mein Sohn. Geht steht und wacht, Mandeln, Roschinke, Sassach. Lulinke, mein Kind, Lulinke, mein Sohn.
The Holocaust almost entirely destroyed Yiddish culture. But But fortunately, in the beginning of the 20th century, many Jews had left Europe for America. The cultural center was transferred from Eastern Europe to the New World. A few came to the land of Israel.
Auf dem Weg steht der Point, steht ein Gebäude. Vor Hayit kein Eretz Yisroel mit verwähnte Augen. Gott, Gott, größer Gott, schon Zeit zu davenen Minche. Als mir willkommen kein Eretz Yisroel, wird sein so in Besimche.
But in Israel, there was a rejection of the old world that they had brought along with them. A new Jew was being created, beautiful, proud, and strong, the antithesis to the diaspora Jew from Europe. The establishment spurned the use of the Yiddish language. Notwithstanding, there has been a revival of Yiddish culture. By breaking down the walls of resentment and by opening the doors to this culture, we ultimately discover a rich world, a world which is in essence ourselves.